You're watching FISM News.
U.S. property and casualty insurers have cast the coronavirus pandemic as an unprecedented event whose massive cost to small businesses they are neither able nor required to cover. The industry has warned it could make them insolvent if they are required to compensate firms for income lost and expenses owed due to virus-led shutdowns, as some states are proposing. Insurers say business interruption policies only apply when actual physical property damage prevents a business from operating, and any attempt to apply coverage beyond that point for a pandemic would be unconstitutional. Many businesses are being advised to seek counsel and begin filing claims, but at this financially difficult time, hiring a lawyer to help with the claims is far from a top priority. There are currently dozens of lawsuits in U.S. courts seeking compensation on behalf of small businesses for lost earnings due to the pandemic. According to insurance researchers from U of Wisconsin and U of Alabama, only about 40% of small firms have business interruption coverage. Legal experts said that while many policies exclude pandemics, some do not, and there is precedent for courts requiring insurers to pay for physical loss without physical damage.
U.S. petroleum consumption is rebounding as stay-at-home orders are lifting, but recovery in diesel has been erratic, and there is no sign of a return in jet fuel use as of yet. The total volume of petroleum podcasts supplied to the domestic market reached 17.6 million barrels per day, or BPD, last week, up from a slump in the middle of April of 13.8 million BPD. The total product supplied has recovered to around 83% of its pre-lockdown rate from 65% when the lockdowns were at their most intense. Gasoline consumption was hit hard by stay-at-home orders. Gas has rebounded the most strongly and consistently as restrictions on personal mobility have eased and is up 55% since April. However, there's no good news for jet fuel, which was crushed by the collapse in airline travel. Consumption has slowed to less than 40% or even 30% of its pre-lockdown rate and shows no clear sign of recovering as of yet. The U.S. Supreme Court ruled in favor of a federal law protecting gay and transgender employees from workplace discrimination. The ruling, which was 6-3, decided that gay and transgender people are protected under the Civil Rights Act of 1964. The Title VII Act bars employers from discriminating against employees on the basis of sex, as well as race, color, national origin, and religion. Workplace bias against gay and transgender employees has remained legal in much of the country, with 28 U.S. states having no comprehensive measures against employment discrimination. The ruling was authored by conservative Justice Neil Gorsuch, who was appointed by President Donald Trump in 2017. Chief Justice John Roberts, another conservative, along with the court's 4 liberal justices, joined Gorsuch's opinion. Conservative Justices Samuel Alito, Clarence Thomas, and Brett Kavanaugh dissented from the ruling. The legal fight focused on the definition of sex in Title VII. The plaintiffs, along with civil rights groups and many large companies, had argued that discriminating against gay and transgender workers was inherently based on their sex and consequently was illegal. President Trump's administration, in agreement with the employers sued for discrimination, argued that Congress did not intend for Title VII to protect gay and transgender people when it had passed the law. A Russian court convicted former U.S. Marine Paul Whelan of spying for the United States and sentenced him to 16 years in jail. Whelan was detained by agents from Russia's Federal Security Service in a Moscow hotel room on December 28, 2018, as he prepared to attend a wedding. Russia says Whelan was caught with a computer flash drive containing classified information. Whelan, who pleaded not guilty, said he was set up in a sting operation. He claimed he thought the drive given to him by a Russian acquaintance contained holiday photos. Whelan's lawyer claims his client was told upon being detained that he would be part of a prisoner swap with the United States, and that he believed this was what Moscow now wanted to do. The Russian Foreign Ministry told the Russian news agency RIA it had proposed detailed prisoner swaps to Washington many times, but gave no further details.
The deaths of 2 black men found hanged from trees 10 days and 50 miles apart in California are now gaining deeper scrutiny and outrage. Public outcry has accused authorities of prematurely ruling both cases suicides. The body of Robert Fuller, 24, was found hanging from a tree by a rope around his neck before dawn last Wednesday in a park north of Los Angeles. Officials said it appeared Fuller had taken his own life. The social media hashtag Justice for Robert Fuller was trending on Twitter last week, with users calling for a full investigation of what some speculated was actually a lynching. At a news conference on Monday with the sheriff, the county's chief medical examiner, Dr. Jonathan Lucas, said the preliminary assessment of apparent suicide had been based on any lack of immediate evidence pointing to foul play. On March 31st, Malcolm Harsh was found hanged from a tree at a homeless encampment in California. Officials there said Harsh's death likewise appeared to be a suicide. Authorities are still awaiting toxicology results for both men before inquiring about homicides. A cheaper and widely used steroid called dexamethasone has become the first drug shown to be able to save lives among COVID-19 patients. Scientists say it is a major breakthrough in the coronavirus pandemic. Trial results announced showed dexamethasone, which is used to reduce inflammation in other diseases such as arthritis, also reduced death rates by around a third among the most severely ill of COVID-19 patients admitted to the hospital. The preliminary results suggested the drug should immediately become standard care in patients with severe cases of the disease, said the researchers who led the trials. The researchers said they would work to publish the full details of the trial as soon as possible, with some scientists saying they wish to review the evidence for themselves.
President Donald Trump signed an executive order on Tuesday seeking to improve policing practices through directing attention to credentialing, training, and mental health resources. Senior officials said the order aims to incentivize police departments to improve by tying federal discretionary grants to good policing practices. The order would encourage police departments to employ the latest standards for use of force, improve background checks, and add social workers to law enforcement responses to nonviolent cases involving drug addiction and homelessness. Some activists have called for taking funding from police departments or completely abolishing them altogether. Describing the order, one Trump administration official said, "We're not looking to defund the police. We're looking to invest more and incentivize best practices."
U.S. Trade Representative Robert Lighthizer told lawmakers that the U.S. will act early and often if problems arise under the new USMCA trade deal. He announced the country has plans to talk to Mexico about its failure to approve any biotech products from the U.S. over the past 2 years. Lighthizer added that the U.S. would likely have to file a state-to-state dispute in order to resolve the issue. He also said the U.S. is closely monitoring Canada's implementation of the agreement's provisions on U.S. dairy sales. The U.S. is prepared to bring a case against Canada if U.S. farmers were not getting the full benefit of the trade deal. Many in Beijing have had their daily lives upended by the resurgence of COVID-19 over the past week, with some fearing the entire city is headed for lockdown. Health officials reported 31 new infections June 16th, bringing the cumulative cases since Thursday to 137 in the city's worst reported resurgence in 4 months, with 356,000 people tested since Sunday. China's capital canceled scores of flights, shut down schools, and blocked off some neighborhoods as it ramped up efforts to contain the outbreak. According to a senior disease control official, the new outbreak has been traced to the capital's largest trading center for farm produce, the Zinfati Market.
PepsiCo is dropping a mascot that has been criticized for its racist history. Aunt Jemima pancake mix and syrup will be getting a new brand image and name, although the company did not give further details. The 130-year-old brand's logo features an African-American woman named after a character from 19th century minstrel shows. The reason many people want the caricature removed is that her backstory is rooted in a stereotype of a friendly black woman working as a servant or nanny for a white family. Separately, but in a related story, the company Mars said it was evaluating possible changes to its Uncle Ben's brand of packaged rice, which features a white-haired African-American man named after a Texas rice farmer. Both brands have been called out on social media in recent days amid widespread protests over racism in the United States after the pivotal death of George Floyd. Observers praise the change, but note it's long coming. One professor at Notre Dame's College of Business said while the move was welcomed, it was decades late. He also said brands built on racist imagery have been living on borrowed time. PepsiCo also announced on Tuesday a set of initiatives worth more than $400 million over 5 years to support black communities.
France's top court upheld a $56 million fine on Alphabet, owner of Google, for breaching European Union online privacy rules. The penalty sent ripples through Silicon Valley and is the biggest fine imposed for such a breach. A spokeswoman for Google said, "This case was not about whether consent is needed for personalized advertising, but about how exactly it should be obtained." She added that the company will look at what changes need to be made moving forward. Its decision relied on the EU's General Data Protection Regulation, the biggest shakeup of data privacy laws in more than 2 decades. Discount supermarket chains Aldi and Lidl look poised to accelerate their push into home delivery as the industry faces a shift in demand that is expected to endure beyond the coronavirus crisis. Before the pandemic, the German duo had grown at breakneck speeds, most notably in the US and Britain. However, Nielsen data shows that from the start of the coronavirus lockdowns, they have been losing out to larger supermarkets as consumers make fewer shopping trips and opt for stores offering more choices and branded goods. Home delivery and curbside pickup services, meanwhile, are attracting many older customers for the first time. This shift is prompting the discounters to focus their attention on previously tentative online efforts, despite a long-held conviction that the high cost of delivering fresh food makes it incompatible with a business model reliant on low prices and minimal service. However, customers are starting to demand home delivery in countries such as Britain, where online penetration of the grocery market has almost doubled to 13% since the arrival of COVID-19, according to market researcher Nielsen. Aldi last week said that it has extended a trial of home delivery in partnership with Deliveroo. If that goes well, industry insiders say the service could be rolled out more quickly than an in-house solution because Deliveroo is already well established. The pandemic has also helped the economics of online grocery shopping. A broad customer base has reduced logistics costs because delivery vans can drop more orders in one area, while average orders have also jumped, almost doubling at data from British grocers.
Thank you for watching. This has been FISM News.